queers, welcome back to another episode of Monday through Friday. Tomorrow is my 1-year anniversary on HRT. I've been taking spirulactone, which is a testosterone blocker, for 1 year, and I've been taking estrogen for 1 year. So I am at the 1-year benchmark for HRT. Just wanted to go over a few things that I've experienced so that you will also hopefully be better prepared for what to expect 1 year on hormones. Already, I do have somewhat of breasts. They are small, but they are there. Breast development begins to occur within actually the first 3 months of taking hormones. You will notice at first a pain and a tightness in your chest, not dangerous levels, just like discomfort. And your areola, the nipple area, will begin to harden and protrude. You will get sensitivity there on the areola, and over time, your breast will begin to form buds, which are like small little baby breasts, and those will continue to grow for roughly about 3 to 5 years. Transgender women's breasts can be likened to cisgender women when they're first going through puberty. So despite what age you start at, imagine the first year as being like 12 to 14-year-old girl. For about 3 to 5 years on average, you will continue to have breast growth. Usually you'll be provided with estrogen and testosterone blocker. Something that you can do after your first 6 months is you can go to your physician or the person handling your transition and you can ask for progesterone. Progesterone is a third hormone that helps increase breast growth. It's like the extra propulsion that you need to go that much further. It is something that you are generally going to have to ask for. It will not be readily told to you in most cases. But after your first 6 months, that's when you're able to start asking for and taking progesterone. Skin softening. That's something that will happen. My skin now is a lot more pliable, a lot more gentle than it was back in boy mode, and we're only a year down the road. Your skin becomes softer. With that too means that you need to be careful when you're bumping up against things or how you handle yourself. It's not necessarily an issue of you will bruise easier or get scratched more often. It's just you're a little bit more delicate now. You're a little bit softer, and you need to make sure that you're not just bumbling through life, that you're aware of where things are at, and you're not causing things to fall on top of you, carrying heavy luggage or boxes and stuff, because that will damage your skin. But that's just a little thing to be aware of. If you're going male to female, keep in mind that, hey, there is going to be a point where somebody offers to help you carry something. You might still be hardwired to be like, no, I got it, I'm big and bad. You're going to want that help. You're going to want that help because A, it keeps you from putting yourself in a dangerous situation or a damaging situation, messing up your back, or possibly getting a mark on your skin. But also because of the next point, which is muscle degeneration. Testosterone blocker does eat away at our physicality. A year ago, I was a pretty sturdy fellow, and I used to be, even though I was a little bit smaller, a little bit skinnier, not as tall, and I was a scrappy fellow. And I was able to push myself to lift the heavy thing, climb that wall, that sort of thing. You will notice, being on HRT, that certain tasks that you used to do are no longer as easy to do. There are times lifting heavy objects where you're like, wow, I used to be able to do this. I can't do this anymore, or it takes a lot more exertion. There are times when holding a heavy object. It's like you got to put it down sooner. And this is regardless of if you work out or not. I had gone through during the first year of hormones spells of like working out and then like letting it go and then working out. And both during times of not working out and through times of working out, I have noticed that my levels of just raw physical strength have reduced. Lifting a lot of heavy objects is hard. Being able to do certain things that I used to do is a little bit rougher now. No lie, the muscle that you have in your hands, the amount of muscle that you have in your hands does go away. Your ability to grip things goes away. Case an example, opening a jar of pickles. Early on, first 4 months of hormones and stuff, it was nothing to just go. Now, a year later, I have to like sit with it for a while, put it under hot water, the metal lid under hot water to loosen it up, grab a towel, and like do everything possible to try and get that grip off. I'm working on getting stronger with my hands again, but it is a very real thing that opening jars is going to be a lot more difficult. Another thing that happens while being on hormones for the first year, your brain begins to readjust itself. Your brain begins to do this little like loop-de-loop, usually around the first month through the third and a half month. You will experience like kind of like doubting yourself, like, wait a minute, why am I feeling this? Whose brain is this? And stuff like that. It's not that you're losing yourself, but it's a common phenomenon. So like say that you're starting out and your testosterone levels are up here, your estrogen's down here, and you're wanting to take medication to get it the other way so that you're predominantly estrogen, very little testosterone. You do need both. Everybody needs both. But you're starting out here, and as you start taking the hormones, usually around the 1 month through the third and a half month, they hit this area where they're even. That's when you might think that, hey, I may be going crazy. I'm not in control of my emotions anymore. Strange thoughts come to me. I had impulse control problems and stuff. I've seen that with a lot of our brothers and sisters around that 1 month to 3 month mark. Your hormones are kind of like in balance with each other, and without one ruling over the other, you do get this whole like mind fog type thing where it's like, what's going on? What am I even doing? It goes away. So there is a point where your hormones do level out to the way that you're needing them to be, and your mind will adjust accordingly. You'll get something male to female called girl brain, where you can like look at different options and like see different things that normally you would just be straightforward, this is what I'm doing. That does happen. Other things that go down. Libido. Let's talk about this one. So like a lot of transgender women experience a time during their first few years of transitioning where either you have heightened sexuality or no sexual desire whatsoever. Both are extremely common. Both are extremely common. I will say this, it's been my experience that when I began progesterone 6 months in, I suddenly became a lot more interested in sexual activity. Progesterone made me, especially at the beginning, the first like 2-3 months of progesterone made me a little bit more forward, and progesterone made me horny. There it is. Progesterone made me horny. First 2-3 months on it, it made me horny. I've known other people too, like my partner for instance and stuff, the whole first year, even with progesterone and stuff like that, just libido went out the window. They didn't like the way that they looked, and they didn't really enjoy the human body at all. It's really a toss-up what's going to happen to you. It really is. But do expect that your libido to go through minor changes, either with not wanting it or wanting it a lot. And then you also have the sheer fact of like, do you have the ability to do so? If not, then it doesn't really matter, which is something that happens to a lot of us too. There are two things that you should know about that hormones do not affect. Number one is your voice. Estrogen will not be able to change your voice at all. That is something that you will have to find a way to work on feminizing your voice if you so wish to. You have to work on feminizing your own voice, or you may choose to get a surgery that shaves your voice box, although I've heard mixed results from a lot of our sisters. I've heard that the surgery to shave the larynx, shave the voice box, doesn't always work and sometimes does irreversible damage. That being said, I had gone on YouTube specifically to learn how to do my voice because I couldn't afford a voice therapist or voice instructor. There's plenty of reference videos on YouTube on how to achieve a more feminine voice. In fact, I will go ahead down below in the descriptions, link a video to a channel that I think you should check out if that is your intention to obtain a more feminine voice. It is a skill. You will have to practice it. It took me a while to learn how to get my voice into this range and to maintain it there for prolonged periods of time. But with anything, the more you practice, the better you get, the more comfortable you get. I wake up now in the morning and this is my voice. The cat jumps up and scares me. I go, ah! You know what I mean? Instead of going, oh. So through practice, you can change your voice. Beyond that, the other thing that hormones do not give you is they do not take away your facial hair. This is really important. For male to female, estrogen and testosterone blocker does not stop the growth of beards, mustaches, or facial hair. You will have to find a way, if you so choose, to remove your facial hair. The best overall option that I've heard is electrolysis. That's where you go to a skincare physician and they take a little laser and they fry the follicles of your hair, and over the course of 6 or 8 trials, 6 or 8 appointments, you no longer are able to develop facial hair. But again, that's a surgery. What I've been doing is I literally take tweezers, pluck them out. It usually takes me an hour in the morning to pluck out all of the showing hairs, and then after that, I will use an epilator. An epilator is like an electric razor, but instead of having blades, it has little tweezers on it. So I'm plucking with a tweezer singly, eyebrows, mustache, chin, and sides. And then I go through with an epilator, I run it up and down, and then I go ahead and I shave. And I do that practically every day unless I know that I'm not going to go outside or come in contact with people. Then I let it ride. But yeah, your voice and facial hair are not going to change at all with hormones. You're going to have to find your own ways of dealing with those issues. This is an important one. It's not related to the hormones, but it is related to early stages of transitioning. You're going to find out who is cool with it and who is not cool with it. And you can make an entire list of who you think might say, oh yeah, we always knew, and who says, no, never talk to me again. You could go ahead and make that list, just rip it up, because you will not know until you come out to these people. It's not all bad. A lot of them are like, yeah, we know. That's been my experience. You used to be a man. People listened to what you said. They got out of your way. They gave you space. You were allowed to speak up. Your actions, basically, you could do whatever you want and people would applaud it. Even if it's something minor, oh my goodness, you did it. Then you become a woman. And it's you have to try a little bit harder. You have to try harder and get less recognition. And people don't see you sometimes. And if they do see you, you kind of wish that they didn't see you. And that's what it's like being a woman. It's very much like you get overshadowed. You get tossed aside unless somebody is wanting something from you. And then throw in the whole transness part of it too. Let's go with the first ones. It's not even about hate or discrimination. It's just we are very rare. So if you live in a community where there's not a lot of trans folks or non-binary folks, expect people to stare. Like, say that like you saw a zebra walking around and you're in the middle of like the Midwest. You know zebras exist, but it's like, what's one doing here? You know what I mean? That would be odd to you. Transgender people are very rare. We're not weird. We're just, there's not a lot of us, statistically. So if you're in an area where you happen to be one of the only transgender people, people are going to like sometimes out and out drop what they're doing and like look at you. It happens. Just keep in mind that not all of it is about hate or discrimination. Sometimes it's just pure curiosity. Hell, you might be the reason that somebody's egg cracks. You might be. So keep that in mind too. Just try to fight the good fight and stay positive. Other things about the first year on hormones. Let's see here. Oh yes, I am happy to say that recently breast development occurred early on. What I was really excited about was weight distribution. I now have hips. I now have a booty. I am very excited about that. Like, seriously, I thought like, okay, I'm just gonna have, you know, narrow boy hips for the rest of my life. No, there's padding now on the sides. Like, I can look at myself and it's like, okay, I've got a little bit of a dunk-a-dunk. You know what I mean? So that is a good feeling. And like, it feels different sitting down on a chair without a cushion. I don't feel it as much. It feels different when my partner cracks me on the butt. It feels good. It jiggles. So that's exciting too. Weight distribution is going to be a good thing. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. It has been for me to lose weight. So like as a male, you would be able to like eat and eat and eat and then just go out to get the mail, come back, and then boom, you shed all that weight. A little bit difficult, and that's just because we're women now. And that's part of being a woman is you got to work harder to get rid of the calories. Skin getting softer, losing a little bit of muscle mass, weight distribution. I've noticed that my face has filled out a little bit more. It's a little bit rounder than it used to be, which is awesome because a lot of people are more trusting of people with a round face. They're more apt to be like, oh, this person is cool. Whereas like having like a narrow male face and stuff like that sometimes could be like, ooh, get away from me. Now it's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah, I really think that might be most of it. Oh, one more thing. Regardless of libido, you are going to see a change in your ejaculate. If you're able to ejaculate, whereas in boy mode it was thicker and white and more like viscous, in girl mode it's going to thin out. It's going to become a little bit more clear, less bulky, almost like hand soap, like liquid hand soap. And yeah, you're not going to like shoot across the room anymore. If you ever could, you're not going to be able to like, you know, bah! It's going to be more like a slow dribble or like a little leak. I know for me personally, TMI, I know for me personally, I've since transitioning not been able to produce anything. It will be after I have achieved climax and stuff. Minutes later, a single drop will turn up, usually in my panties. So there is that. Yeah, transitioning can be very scary, but that's usually what to see in the first year's worth. I'm very excited for this next year moving forward because usually at the 2-year mark is where you are like chemically identical and hormonally identical to your cisgender counterpart. At the 2-year mark, it becomes very easy for most of us to be passable. It becomes very easy for our hair to grow in exactly the way that we want it. It becomes, you know, we just become shaped the way that we need to be, and most of the processes have gotten there at the 2-year mark on hormones. I'm very much looking forward to that, and I will be doing an updated video in about a year about this very topic. I cannot wait to be at the 2-year mark, so it's like, boom, there she goes. Wow, I mean, I'm pretty all right now, but like, yeah, in another year it's gonna be like, damn. So I cannot wait for that. So hopefully this video helped. Just a few things I've noticed in the first year of transitioning. Yeah, you are going to go through a period of time where it's like, who am I, what am I? And that's both your brain recalibrating itself first month through the 3rd and a half, 4th month. And then there's also a period of like socially, people being like, I don't know how to deal with you. And that goes on until you are really secure with yourself. But like anything else, like the voice, like makeup, like playing the guitar, the more you practice, the better you're going to be. You're able to do this. All right? Thank you all very much for watching. I hope that you've learned something today. If this video has helped, go ahead and give this video a like, share it with a friend. Other than that, I love you all very much, and have a great day. Bye.